All right, welcome into the rundown this afternoon. Thank you guys for checking us out. Got I don't know what we're going to talk about today. I've got all kind of stuff that I've been looking at. I've been watching the Olympics today a little bit. Watched the Americans pick up what 4 medals today in the swimming pool, and I've got Asia Wilson over my right shoulder here, my little monitor setup where she's basically 2 foot taller than everybody else, and she's just out there just dominating against the Japanese women. It's Team USA doing their thing. So yeah, there's that. So that's kind of what I got going on today. Are you watching the Olympics? I know some people are pissed off because of the political aspects of, Jesus's feelings were hurt at the Olympics. I don't really let a French designer take away from what our athletes did that are going out there and trying to do their thing. You know, so yeah, I follow the Olympics. I do. So there's that. Anyway, if you want to get involved with the show today, have at it. We had a good show last night with Jackpot. We're talking about how there's a section of fans that just think that they're better than they are. Bow hunting checking into the program. Thank you, sir. Gamecock Chuck checking in as well. But there are certain fan bases that just think that they're just better than they are. And when it comes down to it, I look at it and I'm like, huh, okay, that's interesting. We'll see how that works out for them. I don't know, to be honest with you, with some of these folks, because it is um, a mess when it comes down to it. Shout out to Harry Legg. Shout out to Rob as an SEC bias. Yeah, I mean, you have certain programs that think they're blue bloods, but they're not. So I thought maybe we could talk about that today for a moment today. The idea of what is a blue blood program. Now, there's lots of different ways to look at it. If we're going by just who has championships, we have to look at the Harvards and the Yales of the world. I like to look at it from a modern day era. And blue blood to me means that you're consistently winning, at least 9-10 games a year. Welcome to Sunny Side Up. Thank you for checking out the show. Anyway, when I step back and look at it, though, the blue bloods, as of right now, these are teams that if you told me every year that they're going to go and they're going to win 9, 10, 11, 12 games, Georgia has to be in the mix. I mean, they've lost one game in 3 years, and maybe the idea of being a blue blood has to change you kind of refresh it every 10 years. Tim Russell says, does being a blue blood matter in this era of playoffs and champions crowned actually on the field? Yeah, I get it. Maybe that's just a weird term, Tim. But when you really stop and look at it, we're at a point now where you've got Georgia, Alabama. I think Oregon's in the mix as the one of the West Coast teams there. Um, you know, the Texas folks will be like, all right, well, we have to be there too. Yeah, but not really. Texas hasn't been great. You know, you can make an argument that a lot of other teams are more first line items than Texas is. Yeah, they went to the playoff last year, but it's not like they're the greatest ever, I mean, they haven't been really good in a while. Um, some folks would say Southern Cal. Maybe they're a blue blood. I don't know, man. So that's my thing for you today. Who exactly are the blue bloods? I think Georgia and Alabama have to be in the mix. Clemson has to be in the mix, but Clemson's at that crest now where they may be coming off of it. But your modern day blue bloods, you have to put the Tigers there. Same thing with Ohio State. And I've ventured to say Michigan. LSU, that's an interesting one there. Yeah, I guess I can see that. it's just LSU had what, a losing season not too long ago, right? Didn't they finish like 5-7 or something? I don't know about Texas either. I don't know if they won enough games as of right now. It's so weird watching this women's basketball where our United States women we're just taller than they are. That's basically what it boils down to. We have taller women than you do. So that's why we're going to be better than you are. We like they could literally, and apparently from what I heard, this Japanese team is the team that beat or not beat, but the U.S. beat them in the championship in Tokyo. But you just walk out on the court and you've got Asia Wilson and Brittany Griner and Brianna Stewart. All of them are like over 6'5", 6'4", 6'5". The tallest Japanese woman is 6'1". These Japanese women don't have a chance. This is like watching I mean, it's literally just, watching mites too. And our women look like they lift weights too. It's just not a good mix right now when it comes to that for the Japanese. So there's that. So that's what I have today. I wanted to talk about what exactly is a blue blood and who thinks they're a blue blood, but they're not. Because the blue blood thing can come and go. I mean, it really can. You can make an argument that years ago, Florida was a blue blood during the Tim Tebow era. You get to be really good for like 3 seasons in a row for that to work. So, good afternoon to Zona Tucson. Maybe it's just me. I don't know. You can make an argument Florida was there at one point. Florida State was there at one point. And then you can go from there. So what exactly is a college football blue blood? If you want to get into that, also we can talk a little bit about. I've got the Olympic stuff in my head because I've been watching so much of the Olympics here today as I've been working. But we've also got some other stuff too that we can get into. I was looking at what point. That's a good point, Nick. What point do you stop being a blue blood? I think it's when you've hit that crest and then you come back down. You know what I'm saying? I think that's what that boils down to. If you have more than 4 decades of winning football, you should be considered a blue blood. Yeah, maybe that's just the terminology it's the wrong terminology. I don't know. So anyway, we can get into that. We can also talk about what was the other headline that I saw today that made me go, The other headline I saw was, wait a minute, I got it right here. The other headline. Oh, yeah. College football's 20 most expensive tickets for the 2024 season on 247 Sports. Number 20 is Alabama at Wisconsin. Georgia at Ole Miss is 19. 18 is Auburn at Alabama. 17 is Florida at Tennessee. 16 is Penn State at West Virginia. 15 is Michigan at Washington. 14 is, now this one got me, Indiana at Northwestern. When did they start caring about games? Florida at Florida State. Auburn at Georgia. Georgia at Alabama's 11. Cincinnati at Colorado. Say tickets are $300 a piece. Alabama at Tennessee, no surprise there. Tennessee at Georgia. Are Georgia fans jacked for Tennessee coming to town, or are Tennessee fans jacking up the prices? Number 7 is Georgia at Texas. $355 for that one. And then Notre Dame at Texas is $359. Followed by Ohio State at Oregon, Oklahoma and Texas, Texas and Michigan, Army, Navy. $500 to go watch Army and Navy play. Wow. And number 1 is Texas and Texas A&M. $625 a ticket to watch those two square off in in that matchup. All right, some comments over here. Tim says that the modern era is a multiple national championships in a 10-year span. The current members include Alabama, Georgia, Clemson. Clemson's on the edge of falling off the cycle. Yep. He also says Wisconsin will accept fried cheese curds and craft beer as payment. Will schools that make the playoffs regularly start to be considered blue bloods? Well, see, that's the other thing. If you go to Clemson right now and you look up in the stands, they have the logo college football playoff participant. And that means a lot more when there's only 4 teams, right? Does that make sense? Means a hell of a lot more when you got the 4 teams than now that you got 12 because everybody's going. If you think about that, if there's from our NCAA football game over there's 134 teams on that. Let's use that as just an example. You got basically 10% of the damn countries going to the playoff. That's maybe a little less than that. I don't think getting to the playoff is going to be par for a lot of teams. Like getting to the playoff this year for Clemson should be par. They got that one matchup with Florida State. And let's be honest, SMU is a pretty good team, but if Clemson gets to Charlotte and they're playing SMU, I think Clemson beats SMU, and Clemson should be able to go to the playoff. But then you go to the playoff, and I mean, if you're an 8 seed, does that really matter? I mean, it really doesn't in the grand scheme of things. All right, so I think the playoffs have cheapened it a lot. I mean, because it used to be a big, big deal. So if you look at it from what was it? They have the things from last year where if you like Mizzou last year would have been a playoff team. Now I know SEC fans are like, man, to hell with all that. I don't want to hear that. But Missouri would have been a playoff team last year. That's the team that you guys don't want anything to do with. A lot of times, I know a lot of SEC fans shouldn't be in our conference. Last year, Mizzou would have been a playoff team. Does that make them into the blue blood status? I don't think so. They had a good season, but we shall see. All right, and obviously, I'm gonna put the link over here if you guys want to join the show. Want to talk about that? We can. Here is the link for that. If you'd like to get involved with the program today, we're gonna have a short show today. I got to help the wife with a lot of little cool things here, but Tim says Oklahoma would have missed because they were 12, and that slot goes to a group of 5. Yeah. Yeah, I'm looking at if we just look at the AP ranking, or actually we can look at the last CFP votes from last year. Hold on, let's see here. CFP final poll 2023. Okay, here we go. So let's see here. All right, so yeah, so Michigan, Washington, Texas, and Alabama, they would obviously be in. So would Florida State, Georgia, Ohio State, Oregon. Mizzou would be right there. And then you would have Penn State, Ole Miss, and then I guess the next group of 5 would have been Liberty. So Liberty would have been your number 12 over all of these other teams. So I don't know. It's kind of cheapened it a little bit, in my opinion. Some interesting matchups though, because you would have had what 1 and 2 get a bye, right? So three would play 12, I think. Is that how that works? So Texas would have ran over Liberty. Alabama would have had the 11 seed, which would have been Ole Miss. That would have been fun. The 10 seed would have played the 5 seed. Penn State probably would have beat Florida State without their quarterback, and then we can move on and on from there. So, yeah, it's fun to look back on that kind of stuff. But then this year, it's going to be different. All right, let's see here. Welcome to the program, man. Put a shirt on. Don't be coming on my stream with no shirt on.
Listen, it is absolutely piss and rain here in the upstate.
That
Oh,
means you can come on the show with no shirt.
man, I just got out my car. It was soaked. What do you want me to do, Rob?
Put a shirt on.
Hold up. You want a shirt? I got a shirt for you. Give me a second.
Yeah, put a shirt on, man. We don't need Lisa in here having a damn heart attack. You know that Lisa
Yeah.
loves you.
Hey, what do you think? Who do you think's going to be the best home environment playoff game this year? So that's what, like fourth or a sixth seed, or who gets the play? Is it third and fourth seed?
Third and fourth, third and fourth. Well, so 3 will host, 4 will host,
Boom.
5 host, right?
Wounded Warrior, baby. Is it five? I can't remember who all it is. I believe it's 3 games. I thought it was 3 games that were going to be home, and then you got the 2 games that'll be or the 4 games that'll be in a neutral site. But
Right.
yeah, I don't know. My math's probably off on that. But I'm
Well,
thinking probably going to get one of these power, like your Liberty or somebody who's not, in your Power 4 conference winners. I think that's who we're going to be seeing hosting these games, to be honest with you.
I don't know how that's going to work out, to be honest with you, but
I
we'll see.
was about to ask, do you know if because I know all the conference winners for the Power 4 get in, and then the top Power 5 conference winner gets in, correct? Automatically.
Yes, that's at
So
the top.
if
Yeah.
so if that group of 5 is that group of 5 conference winner gonna have a higher seed?
No, it's the highest rated group of 5.
Okay.
They'll probably end up with I think the 8th seed is the way that it'll work out, something like that.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
man, that's something I keep
It's,
forgetting. Is it
see, they extend this whole thing of like we're giving this group of 5 team hope, but in the end, they're not. They're not going to get a home game. They're going to be a sacrificial lamb because everybody's, and everybody will talk about, oh, Boise State beat Oklahoma and stuff like that. Yeah, but it comes back down to it. We're playing for a spot for a national title.
Yeah, it's gonna be a little different.
They're going to be jacked.
And
Whatever group of 5 team gets in, they're going to lose by, I don't even care who it is, 13 points at least.
well, how many years do you think it'll take for us to actually see a group of 5 team make a run and maybe get to like a natty or something with
We
this
may
new?
have one that'll get. I mean, I'm not saying that it'll never happen. I'm just saying that it's kind of the 12 team playoff it's weighted toward the SEC in my opinion, and the Big Ten, because they're going to end up with more teams in it. I think a lot of the I mean,
I
I
mean, you
think
could
if
see East from both of those conferences realistically.
well, like let's look at it from this perspective. If you have a Clemson team that goes 12-0 and they play an 11-1 Florida State team that they've already beaten the regular season. Florida State's only loss on the year is to Clemson. Those two square off in the ACC championship game, and Florida State wins by a field goal. Now, the SEC brethren are going to be like, fuck Clemson till the end of time. They don't belong there. They shouldn't even be ranked after they lost to Florida State. They don't belong anywhere near the playoffs. That's how dumb some of the folks with the lower back tattoos are. But it's weighted, I think, so that I think you'll have your Big Ten, whoever's in the Big Ten championship, and whoever's the 2 teams that are in the SEC championship will automatically get spots. It's just the way that I think it's going to go. I really do.
Well, I know technically the Pac-12 is still around. Are they gonna crown a champion between those 2 teams?
Well, they only have 2 teams, so
That's
no.
crown a champion still.
No, I mean they only have 2 teams. I mean, what would they crown a champion for?
That's what I'm
It's like
saying.
playing each other
Well,
all the time. That's not going to work.
of the whole conference yet. They're going to
Yeah,
start off with 2 teams. It don't make sense to me. Who are
it does.
schedules? Who are those guys even playing?
Hold on, I'll tell you right now. I got it right here. Hold on, we'll let you know who it is. Let's see here. So we got.
Holy shit! It's it's what, Oregon State and
I know Oregon State. Yeah, it's Oregon State and Washington State. right? Yeah, those are the two teams. So Oregon State football. Let's see who they're playing. Here's their schedule. They have Idaho State, San Diego State, Oregon, Purdue. Why the hell is Purdue going all across the country? Colorado State, Nevada, UNLV, Cal, San
Oh,
Jose State, Air Force, Washington State, and Boise State.
they essentially
So,
switched their whole fucking schedule then. That's
well,
pretty,
yeah, I mean, but that's they were basically told you weren't wanted. That's kind of weird though because
I'm surprised they were able
their
to.
their their game against Washington State, which I
Yeah.
guess is the last two Pac-12 teams, is gonna. It already says it's gonna be on the CW. We joke about that. My wife's gonna be like, "Why? Why are they interrupting the Supernatural reruns to show us Oregon State football? Why
I'm
is that?"
surprised they were even able to get a schedule together with how far out these games are planned. I mean, I guess
There
that's
is the
house games, but you know,
the wife's in there talking about that. Nothing comes between her and the Supernatural guys. August 31st, Portland State is the first matchup for Washington State. Then they'll play Texas Tech, Washington, San Jose State, Boise State, Fresno State, Hawaii.
those are all what is that Mac teams pretty much? What?
No, I mean, Washington's a Big Ten team now. Texas Tech is in the Big 12. Boise State is in whatever they play on that Smurf turf.
I think that's
Fresno State is
Mac.
I don't even know what conference that is in. Hawaii, I mean, they don't even have a stadium. They're like playing at a middle school. That's not a joke.
Well,
San
shit,
Diego State,
North-
Utah State. Utah State plays in the Big West, I believe it is. At New Mexico, then they've got Oregon State on the CW on November the 23rd, followed by the final home game of the season is Wyoming. Wow, how the mighty have fallen. It used to be Washington State. And Washington State may not have been good every year, but you'd watch that game because it was a rivalry within the state. What was the Apple Cup, right? Now we're not. I mean, they're playing the Apple Cup, but they're not playing at the end of the season. They're playing freaking Wyoming.
Well, didn't Washington State have old Mike Leach there for a while?
Yeah. Fireball wants to know which one does your wife like more, Sam or Dean? Which one do you like more, Sam or Dean? Dean. Got my wife in there fantasizing over other men while I'm trying to do this show for you assholes. I appreciate that.
Yeah, man, get out of here.
You guys are douches.
She's a married woman. She's got eyes for one
Yeah.
man, and I tased that motherfucker last time I saw him.
Somebody asked me about that the other night at trivia, and they were like, somebody said you got tased up in this bar. I was like, yeah, I did. Yeah, I did. I did get tased up in the bar. I said the fool that tased me tased himself afterwards.
Hey, and I did. Hey, it didn't even phase me too. Right? I held it there. I went back for seconds. I had.
Yeah, look, the wife also says that she should have been the one to tase me. Apparently, she wanted to tase me, but
Well, she should have bought some shots, man. Some Gamecock shots.
I know, right?
But
Gamecock Sporting was there too. That was the fun part. Was that we were worried about Gamecock Sporty not being old enough to get into the bar. That's kind of funny when you really stop and think about it.
Heard
Of course, we're
Sporty.
talking about our live show at Callaway's, which I think we're going to do again this year.
Yeah,
this year we're going to do it. We're going to do it. Even though the game is up at Clemson, we're probably still going to do it this year. Rivalry Friday at Callaway's. We'll have some fun that day. We may do an NCAA football tournament that day too. We'll have all of that in the mix. So it's going to be
the live
fun.
show. The only suggestion I can make is make them longer, man. You got to start earlier.
Why is that?
Because it's a blast out there, man. Getting out there, meeting people that just jackpot community, having some shots, man. It's a great time if y'all have never been to the old Carolina show.
Yeah,
But
it's not bad.
on some good stuff. That trivia though, we gotta do better than the trivia. All right, those questions last year were kind of mid.
Why were they kind of mid? Did they
I-
bother you? You didn't know any of them?
Oh no, we knew them. Well, actually, Gamecock Sporty knew most of them, but holy cow, it is pissing rain, dude. My whole look at this, everything's flooding.
You're in the upstate, right?
Yeah, it is going crazy right now, man.
Mm.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I gotta. I know you gotta head out.
What are you, a weatherman now? Is that what you are? You're just come on here and do weather programs. You're running around with no shirt on doing the damn weather.
Hey, you get your live broadcast.
You have a diploma from Clemson, and not only do you root for South Carolina, but you're running around in the damn rain with no shirt on. What the hell's wrong with you?
No, I had a shirt on. I had to take it off because it was soaked. Do you not see that? I'm telling you, you go out there with some floaties on, you can float down the damn street. Just sit on your man. It's crazy out here. Hopefully it'll clear up. I'm going to a Blink 182 concert tonight, baby. Excited for that. But I won't keep.
Wait a minute. Where are they at?
Oh, they're in Greenville tonight. Yeah, they're in Greenville. It was a gift for my girlfriend, as a matter of fact, for Christmas. So
You're taking the girlfriend to see Blink 182. Where are they playing?
at the Bon Secours. Over.
Who's opening up for them?
I think it's Pierce the Veil, which I've never really heard of Pierce the Veil, but apparently they're pretty popular.
Okay. But it sounds like a shithole to me. I don't know.
Well, if it was a shithole, they'd probably be playing in that old 5,000 seat arena you call Little John. All right.
Little John's 9,000 seats. Welcome to the program.
How you doing, Sporty?
Hey, how you doing, Rob? As a SEC bias, how you doing, Rob?
I'm good. What's going on, buddy?
Yeah, I just randomly saw this. I just randomly saw a Monday stream, and I was like, and then I heard y'all talking about that the Callaway's time where y'all got where Rob has an SEC bias, tased you, and then he tased himself. I remember that. Those are good times.
It was a great day, man. Sporty.
So we always have one act of silliness at the live show. One year we shaved my head. There's another year where we always end up doing something stupid. I want to do the staple gun challenge, but Kale won't do it.
Oh, I ain't fucking staple gunning myself.
No, I would.
The staple gun challenge. You guys know what that is, right?
I've never heard.
I just heard staple gun, and I was like, right? I don't want anything to do with it.
No, you take a newspaper, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you do like trivia questions. You take the newspaper and you stick it on your leg, the full newspaper. You miss a question, you pull a section out, and then you staple it. You know, and once you're out of newspaper, where does that staple go? Bum, bum, bum. Yeah, painful.
How about we just do mace this year?
I don't know about that. I wanted to do some dwarf tossing. My friend the gnome down at LSU, who is a legit gnome, told me that if I came to the LSU game, that he would set up a target and we could throw him at it.
Well, this could
That's
be
the kind of shit I want to do.
Loser eats like a Carolina Reaper or some shit live.
Oh,
He said something about doing one of those hell chips or whatever.
The Pocky.
One chip challenge.
Yeah, the one chip
challenge.
Yeah, and then see who cries first. I ain't crying.
You don't
y'all
cry.
Y'all go to hell for y'all see me shed a tear. That ain't happening.
Them milk at Callaway's.
The wife's telling me what I can't do. We might just do it anyway. Why not? The students go to the ER because of the one chip challenge. That's because you got a bunch of pussy students, honey. We're all fucking men here. We could take a damn potato chip, by God. I can take a potato chip though. She's over there talking because I can't have scented laundry soap. That's because they put all that bullshit in it. We don't need that stuff. Just put some soap in it, by God. I'm talking about I can eat a damn potato chip though.
Hey, if there's one thing I know about Rob, that motherfucker can eat.
I can eat a potato chip.
Ain't no denying. Listen, I I think those chips are probably a little hotter than you're giving them credit for.
I, I
I've
ain't I ain't losing to no Gamecock fan on a potato chip challenge. I'll write that down. That ain't
Uh,
happening.
well, Sporty, drop some knowledge on us, man. It's been a while since I've seen you. Give me
You
some.
know, Kale, when he does his buffalo wings or whatever, he doesn't really. His buffalo wings are like in ketchup. He can't handle any buffalo sauce.
Oh, really?
He just runs around. It's just literally buffalo. Like his buffalo sauce is ketchup and watered down Texas Pete. That's what Jackpot's buffalo sauce is.
That sounds fucking terrible, dude. Does he at least put some ranch on that motherfucker?
No, he doesn't do all that. He doesn't need any spice at all. It'll mess up his tummy. He doesn't need that.
That's terrible. I feel bad
Dang.
for them. Listen, if
Jackpot's gonna slap me for telling shit like that.
the best wing flavor by far, and I'll go to my grave saying this, teriyaki and the hot sauce mixed. Terry hot. Can't beat it.
Oh, Terry
Terry
Hot's really good.
Callaway's does that. The
Do they?
Terry hot wings. Now
Okay.
they also do a Terry Cajun hot, which is
Oh, I
something that's like it's like the Terry hot with like some Cajun seasoning on it as well. So I don't know. It's pretty
That's
good.
too.
All right, what do you got for us, Sporty? Did you just come on here to talk about me getting tased or what?
No, I came on here because I got nothing better to do right now.
Hell yeah.
Aren't you supposed to be in school learning something? What the hell's going on?
No, I don't go back yet. My
When do you
next
guys-
semester's kind of weird. I'm doing an internship with a high school in Columbia, Hammond School. I don't know if you've heard of it or not.
Oh yeah, we know
Oh,
him.
I've heard of Hammond. So you're doing an internship at the Hammond School. What are you doing there? I mean,
I'm working for their
You-
athletic department.
oh, okay. Well, that's good.
The hell,
I was about to say, you're trying to be an educator like my wife, or you're just going to like try to. What are you doing for the Hammond School? You're just working. You're gonna be in there.
Eric Kimry.
Yeah, you were getting coffee for Eric Kimmery, I guess, right?
I want to be an AD, so I'm learning about that kind of stuff while I'm doing my internship.
Oh hell yeah. Ain't
You
nothing
want to
wrong.
be an AD at a high school, or you want to be an AD like for college?
I'm trying to figure that out. I know I want to do one or the other. I'm just trying to figure out whether high school or college would be a better fit. It's just the thing, if you want to go college route, is you have to work your way up to either type of position, but like
Right.
college, you have to start in working in one of the sub departments, whether that's like marketing, whether being like a board member on finance, or working, like I said, working under marketing, or working under some other sub form of collegiate athletics.
Yeah.
That's
So
Yeah.
like,
that's how you work your
I
way
see
up to.
okay, well, I mean that sounds cool though.
AD would be a cool ass job, man. But just make sure when you get there, you just go ahead and turn it into a South Carolina pipeline for me. All right. We need all the recruiting help we can get. Sporty, just plant the seeds early, man. Get them while they're in middle school. Just brainwash
Yeah.
them.
Y'all need some
Dude.
more of those 5 stars.
Dude,
Okay.
so, here's the thing with South Carolina. I've solved the riddle. We're never going to be good at recruiting, no matter how hard we try. NIL, money, we're never going to be good. I've figured out the riddle.
Don't say that.
Gimmick
dude.
offense. We need a gimmick system that helps us compete with the teams in our conference.
I don't think that's true. I mean, I agree with you on the recruiting front because I think Spurrier's best recruiting class was like 8th, and that's with Clowney in the class.
Yeah.
But I don't think I think you can win with top 12, 13 classes if you average that and you're able to keep them. Well, and the other thing now is that look at it from this perspective too. I mean, Spencer Rattler was a 5-star quarterback. If he would have committed to South Carolina out of high school, you would have been in the top 10. So you can build a class that you don't recruit out of high school, and you may finish 21st, but if you add a couple of 5-star guys to it that went somewhere and had their issues, all of a sudden you got a top 10 class. I mean,
Yeah.
remember, Texas A&M 2 seasons ago had the recruiting class that was the highest ranked of all time, and I think only 3 of those guys are left at the school. So
Damn.
there's
That-
that.
Yeah. Well, the reason I bring that up is because, well, if this ends up I'm saying I'm not wishing bad things on Beamer. I want him to do the best. I mean, he's our coach. Ideally, I'd want us to win it all, but obviously that's not going to happen. But like, I'm just trying to play realist here. If things don't work out and we're looking for a new coach and new head coaching candidates, I really, really did consider the guy at Wake Forest, Clausen.
Right.
Purely because he's been able.
Too smart. He's too smart for the fan base. I know it sounds like I'm being dumb here, but to
No, I
implement
see
his
that. I get
program,
that.
it takes more than 2 years. I mean, he's gonna need 4 years. You're gonna need 2 years until you get to a bowl game, because you're gonna have all these guys that are not going to, all the guys that are, your SEC talent that are there now, they're all gonna leave because they don't want to be part of, that offense that he runs. Okay. So you
Right.
might get some guys on defense that'll stay, but the majority of your SEC talent will leave. And it'll take 2 years to build that up. And Gamecock fans don't have the patience for that. And most schools don't. It's not just the Gamecock fans. But he also speaks in complete sentences, and he does what he says he's going to do, which is different than what they've had down there for a while. So, and he's like talking to a professor. He really is. He's a very smart dude. So I don't think that would go over well with a lot of the Gamecock fans.
Yeah, that's the thing I was probably thinking in my head too. The slow mesh offense, heck, even having Jamie Chadwell be the new coach and having his offense, like, I just don't.
But Jamie Chadwell, if you watch his press conferences, he's almost too hillbilly. I mean, too hillbilly.
Look, it can't get worse than Beamer's press conferences. I mean, those.
No, but look, I mean, Chadwell sounds like, he sounds like he ropes goats and everything else.
Listen,
So,
I don't
he
understand.
is, but
I don't understand. Me personally, if we're talking about replacements, I mean, you got a freaking national championship coach just sitting on his ass waiting to get hired in Coach O. I'd say we look at him if we're getting rid of Beamer.
I think that's a horrible move. But
Bring Orgeron Ball to Columbia. I think he'd be perfect for.
Under that logic, why don't you just hire Les Miles? He won a national title.
Come on now, don't do me like that, Rob. Orgeron.
Just saying, he won a national title, didn't he?
Orgeron got forced out 2 years after winning.
Why don't you go and hire Urban Meyer? He won some national titles.
Dude, I'd be fine with
Urban Meyer on the
actually,
college level, besides being a scumbag and being a despicable human being, on the wins-loss side, he's perfect.
Yeah, he's a high-level coach. I wouldn't be mad at that at all. I'm so tired though of just going and getting these motherfuckers who haven't proven themselves. That's all we do since we hired Spurrier.
You hired.
No, I said since we hired.
Oh, after Spurrier, yeah. Gus Malzahn, good job there, orange flavored. Why not Gus Malzahn?
Well, and just at this point, after firing Spurrier, I don't know how we didn't just go out and get an established coach. We just keep running.
Gene Chizik needs a job. You want to get Gene Chizik?
Oh hell no, I don't want Gene Chizik.
Tried to help him keep his job as defensive coordinator at North Carolina, but he was let go. Like after week 1, he was like, "Man, I think I'm actually gonna keep my job." And then the rest of the season plays out. North Carolina's defense returns to reality, and yeah.
That. I mean, more
Jeff
Mac Brown.
Wait, what? Now you guys broke up on me. What'd you say?
North Carolina hired Gene Chizik to replace Gene Chizik. They hired Jeff Collins as their new defensive coordinator.
So, I've interviewed Jeff Collins, and he's one of those guys that, defensively, he knows his stuff,
He's
a good defensive mind.
Yeah.
How long y'all think old Mac Brown's going to want to stick around?
So I saw Mac Brown at ACC kickoff last week, and he looks like he's your grandpa, just running around with all these young kids wearing Jordan A1s.
Is he older than Beamer was when he retired?
I don't know. I mean, Brown's 70, isn't he?
He's old as dirt, man.
He's old, but
He remembers when people wore leather helmets.
he probably wore a leather helmet when he played. I'm not mocking the guy. I'm just saying
played. No, he played.
he's old. So,
But
all right. Well, I don't know if you guys are going to hire a new coach or not. I mean, you're kind of stuck right now.
and I want to keep Beamer, but I give him personally because I'm still pro Beamer. I think he's only had one bad year.
That's fair.
I'm still pro Beamer. Now if he gives me the only thing that'll make me want Beamer out is if we either win 5 or less games again this year, or if that in these 2-year spans, if we go 500, he's got to go. But until then, I think Beamer's our best bet right now. We already hired him. I mean, you're going to bring in a new coach and just lose half your fucking team, just like we did when we hired Beamer to begin with. So, you're basically going to be building from the ground up all over again. So,
there's a
Beamer have to do to keep his job. I mean, he's got to go to a bowl game this year, right?
He's got to go to a bowl game this year, in my opinion. If he doesn't go to a bowl game, he's axed. He's done for.
He doesn't, and then, like I said, if he goes 500 in the next 2 years, I think he's done.
See, if he can go 500 this year, make it to a bowl game, and then say go 7-5, make a bowl game again next year, I'd be okay with that.
That's fine. We just need to see some upward trajectory in the program. That's all it is. We need something.
Dan Mullen. All these names make Jackpot cringe. Dan Mullen.
Mullen is my coordinator.
Dude, I'd kill to have Dan Mullen as an offensive coordinator. Dude doesn't know what he's doing as a head coach, but dude knows how to run an offense.
He turned Jeff Driscoll into one of the best quarterbacks in the country.
Yeah, and then Jeff Driscoll showed up to the NFL. We all know the story from there. But yeah, Driscoll was good in college.
He was really good in college, but and I think that's partially to do with the Dan Mullen system. You could probably him with Kyle Pitts. Pitts, since he's gone to the NFL, he was one of the best players in college under that offense.
Yeah, but to be fair, they've thrown bullshit quarterbacks at him, so I don't want to hear that. That's not really fair.
That's fair.
Yeah, Nick says, does Juice Wells play over or under 5 games? Well, Juice Wells is soft. Hi, Jaden. Juice Wells is soft, so no, that's Paula. So I'd be shocked if he played over 5 games. He's got another year. He may transfer and go somewhere else.
Wouldn't surprise me.
It wouldn't surprise me one bit. Take 2 games, get
community college.
Oh, then go to fucking LSU or something.
I think he's a good fit at Ole Miss, though.
Jason
says
Mullen
soy boy, just like Lane Kiffin is.
Mullen, who would bring in a quarterback who weighs 250 plus pounds. Okay.
Hey, if he can sling that much,
was a good player.
Well, Lenore's is like 240, so.
Yeah, and Lenore's like 6'4" too.
Yeah, he's like 6'4", 240. I think he's gonna be like KJ Jefferson. That's what I think he's gonna be like when we see him play a full season. And I think the offense we run, I've played a little bit of NCAA 25. It's gonna be like that Arkansas offense with Rocket and KJ.
Yeah, I was talking to an Arkansas fan the other day. He and maybe he's just salty he left. But he was telling me Rocket Sanders isn't near as good as the hype he's been getting, which I haven't gone back and watched any. So I hope
the Arkansas fan base talked about he spent more time in the tub than he did on the field. So he had a great freshman year. And then his sophomore year, he was, I'm hurt all the time. So,
well, the South Carolina there's a little bit about a pussy ass running back sitting out, Marshall. So,
I don't know, man. With that offensive line, I'm telling you, the running back that you guys got from SC State will get significant carries by the end of the season.
I think
a
lot of people
to be real
well too.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I'm serious. That's what I think is going to happen. So, you
got
the kid from Texas, whatever Texas. Who's the kid you got? You got the No, yeah, the kid from Texas that was there.
Yeah, North Texas.
North Texas. He'll be RB2, and Juju McDowell's there. But I mean, Juju McDowell is what 5'4". He's not very. He's a small fella. He's not gonna get any significant carries, but I
He's-
think the kid from SC State is going to get carries by the end of the season. He'll
No, for
start
sure.
the Clemson game. I'd be shocked if he didn't.
Rocket's going to get worn down. And to be honest with you, with us having a first-year starting quarterback, we're going to be relying a lot on that running game, particularly early in the season.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you didn't run block very well last year either, though. And
Yeah, that's the problem.
got,
Our
you've
receiving
got
core.
you've got the big guys that can do that on the offensive line, but you just don't. And it's kind of weird, you know?
If Nick Harbor plays like college football, like EA thinks he should play, then maybe he can have a good year. But what I saw from Nick Harbor last year was just so inconsistent. I mean, he'd make a good catch every once in a while, but like he'd drop a lot of passes.
Look, I'm not mocking the young man because he's built like a Greek god, okay?
Oh yeah,
Big,
definitely.
tall, Olympic speed. But as my buddy Mike Hughes said, he's cross-eyed. He's legitimately cross-eyed. How can you focus and bring a ball in just from the physical standpoint if your eyes are crossed?
Well,
I
and
mean, I'm not
I had
knocking him.
no
I'm
idea
just saying.
about that.
I
Yeah,
think
Mike told me that, and
I
if you
actually
get
didn't know he was.
you don't see a lot of pictures of him up close, but I've seen a couple. He is legitimately cross-eyed. I'm not mocking him. I'm just saying it's he
That might
has
explain a few
potential
things.
to be great, but if you're and please don't think I'm making fun of this kid because I'm not.
No, I know you're not. I know
Saying
you're
that there's
not.
a,
You're fine.
if you're cross-eyed, that can limit your ability to focus on a ball coming your way. Just saying. So
opinion with the Harbor situation last year. I kind of differ with you a little bit, Sporty. I don't think he got near enough action for me to judge how he's going to be as a player. I mean,
well, and Nick, hold on, we got to give Nick credit here. So there's a reason most schools wanted him on the edge, and part of the reason he came to South Carolina is because they let him play offense. But could you imagine that kid on the edge rushing?
it would have
Well,
been
that's what he did in high
Can you-
school.
As
on
big as he is?
Dylan Stewart on the other.
Look, you can be cross-eyed as hell and still hit the damn quarterback.
Hell yeah.
There's
mean,
verbiage. There's verbiage in his track scholarship that says he can't play on the defensive side of the ball.
Oh,
Well,
where'd you?
he needs to also, and I'm all about people being two sport athletes. I'm fine with all that, but it's going to come down to a point. If you're here on a football scholarship, I don't give a fuck what your track scholarship says. You're here to play football. We let you run track to stay in shape. That should be the mentality there. He was not good enough to make the Olympic team. So what are you training for now? The Pan Am Games 2 years from now? Someone needs to get a hold of this kid and be like, look, you could be a first round pick in the NFL draft if you focus solely on football. Now, I'm talking about him changing positions. But,
Right.
you know, I mean, because he's got, you know, the Lord blessed him with a body that is one of the best in the world as far as the tools that he's been given. Why not line up and play something else? That's the way that it should be.
Well,
So,
I didn't know about the I didn't know he was cross-eyed. That's serious.
that's what
I'm sorry
that's
to
what
hear
Mike
that for him.
told me. Well, no, Mike Muse told me that. Mike played on the Gamecock offensive line in the '90s.
You related to Nick?
No, he calls him his son, but he's not. But
Muse so
but
much.
no, he said that. I started looking at some pictures, and there are pictures where his eyes are crossed. So, you know,
You know,
take
cross-eyed.
that for what it will, and it may not affect him much. But I mean, I looked it up, and it's like if your eyes are crossed, you know objects coming at you like this, you may not be able to have the recognition to catch them. I don't know.
Well, I think our offense here with the Norris coming in, I think we're going to look a lot like the old Clemson offense with a bunch of tunnel screens, a bunch of bubble screens, then
I
eventually
could definitely see that.
I think that's really how.
That didn't work for Clemson though. I mean, it would work for some games, but when you had fast linebackers like Florida State had, Clemson would get eaten up.
Well, that's how y'all won them national championships. chips.
No, they not with tunnel screens and shit like that. They had when they won national titles, they ran a lot of pick plays with their slot receivers, and they had a safety valve running back like a Travis Etienne that could catch the ball out of the backfield. So your quarterback was never really taking sacks because he could just dump it off to the running back and
We
get
don't have.
3,
Well,
get 2 yards, get 4 yards, whatever. So yeah.
speaking of
I,
safety valve running backs, I think that's the only use we have for Juju McDowell at this point.
I think he's going to come up on. I think he's just going to be a special teamer for us this year, Sporty.
Well, that
You
wouldn't
never
surprise me.
You never know because if you remember like who was the running back who came in and he ended up transferring out? The guy that didn't look like was the starter at the end of the season. I can't remember his name.
Oh, Mario Anderson.
Yeah.
So Mario Anderson, nobody really knew who he was. And then they said when they started, they said that he couldn't pick up the playbook. That was the thing. Couldn't pick
That
up.
wasn't it. That was a bad excuse. He didn't even start getting carries until week 4 or week
Well, they
5.
said he didn't understand the playbook. I mean, if you can't pick up simple blocks, I can understand why. I mean, Rattler was going to get smoked anyway. This guy couldn't run a simple chip block. I mean, I guess I can kind of get that, but I don't know. I don't know.
Also, yeah.
I got to get off of here. Let me leave y'all with this, though. Horns down. All right. Fuck Texas. And I will say this, Billy, if you're watching, I went a bit too hard on you last night.
Oh, God.
Bit too hard on you last night, and I apologize. But I stand by what I said, okay? I stand by what I said. I could have said it nicer, though. That's the only thing I'm upset about. Everything else is true. All right? Go Cox. Quarter zip, baby. Hide your fucking Gatorade coolers. Beamer's coming.
All right. Well, Sporty, do you have anything else, sir?
Yeah, I was gonna say about Rattler. I have a friend that I talk college football a lot with. He's an NC State fan. Me and him got into a massive argument about Spencer Rattler. He's a Saints fan as well, and he just does not like Spencer Rattler at all. And he thinks that a lot of South Carolina's problems last year were because of him. And I tried to defend Spencer Rattler. Yeah, I know, right?
Does he not watch football?
I mean, he does. He watches it a lot, but he was a quarterback, and he just says that Rattler wasn't good at picking up the blitzes and finding the hot routes on a lot of the sacks he took.
He couldn't pick up the blitzes simply because he was on his ass. Show him the Clemson game.
I did. That's the one we were talking about.
In that Clemson game where for 12 plays he took 11 hits.
I told him that, but
there were 12 Gamecock plays in a row where he got hit 11 out of 12 times.
I know. I was there. I was watching the game. It was like a jailbreak every single time.
But how are you supposed to pick up anything if you're getting smoked every time you damn touch the ball? That doesn't make any sense. He doesn't know anything about the game of Hut Hut. Don't talk to him. He'll make you dumber. There you go. There's my advice for you, sir. That's
okay, good. I just wanted to make sure I wasn't going insane. I thought Rattler did everything he could last year.
And Rattler went out on his sword too. He knew going into that damn Clemson game that he was going to be rude. He knew he was going. Imagine going into that knowing you're going to take that beating. He did every time.
I couldn't even remember. Did y'all double Leggett up that game?
No, they walked up. Well, they walked up to safety a little bit, but I mean, they had God, who was it? I don't remember. They didn't double him much, but on long plays like 3rd and long, they would double him. But in just the base defense, it was pretty much we're all going to kill the quarterback. Have a nice day, and that's what they did.
Yeah. What do you think? Yeah, we talked a little bit about the offense for South Carolina. Defensively, I think the defense, believe it or not, is going to be the better side of the ball for us going into this season.
Well, it's not really saying much, but I mean, I can
I know.
understand where you're coming from. So
Well, talent-wise, I would say it's the better side of the ball.
you've got good defensive linemen. They're on par. I don't know about. Yeah, I think losing Stone Blanton and losing the kid that went to Florida. I think that's going to be maybe have some issues with your depth, but we'll see.
Yeah, I know a lot of people don't like Stone Blanton, but I thought he did save us from losing that Jacksonville State game, but like the
He
dude
did.
was still highly recruited out of high school. He had several he had quite a few SEC schools looking at him and then a few ACC schools as well. So the guy still had the guy would still be nice to have, but
Right.
just
Well,
talent-wise, I think we're better all around defensively than we are offensively. Do I think the defense is going to be good because of that? No. I just think that the defense will probably be the better side of the ball. Unfortunately, I don't think we're going to be very good. I said we'd go 6-6 like Jackpot did, but I thought it was a very generous 6-6 that I gave South Carolina.
well, that's true, man. I mean, and I'm not ripping the Gamecocks here. I'm just thinking you don't have enough right now, and the way your schedule loops out. I mean, you've got Ole Miss and Alabama, and you got to go to Oklahoma too. That's just like it's just not good. I mean, it's just tough. And I don't use it. Well, they have a tough schedule every year, but the way the schedule shakes out,
Mm-hmm.
the Kentucky game is the hinge game for them. They've got to beat that Kentucky team on the road in what game two. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm not trying to be a smartass here, but I wouldn't look past Old Dominion. Old Dominion runs that gimmick offense that you don't see all the time.
What
And
kind?
well, I mean, it's a little bit of Tennessee, but they run the ball well, a lot of stretch plays, and they line up and try to find mismatches, and they're coming into this thinking they don't give a shit. So I don't know what the
That is
line.
not.
I don't think that it's going to be I don't think it's going to be like you know. It's not going to. What's the line? Does anybody know the line on that game? I can't remember, but yeah, they have. There are things about them that make them tough, and you have to. People just overlooking them. That's just not the way to go.
No,
So
I talked about them in my prediction video. They also have a really good linebacker in
right,
forgot his name. Something.
yeah, I
They
don't
have a
know.
linebacker that had 150 something tackles last year, 120 something tackles last year, 119 tackles last year.
Well, I'm just saying those first two games could be interesting. Going up to Kentucky and trying to win that game may be a problem too.
I
So
think so. I picked us to
yeah,
lose to Kentucky, mostly
right.
because it's early in the year.
Just
Kentucky's physical, and when
right,
you play a physical team early in the year, generally they're going to have the advantage, I would think.
right.
And
That's a
it's
good point.
Seller's first start, not only in conference play, but it's on the road. I know Kentucky's not really the hardest place to play, but there's just a lot of factors where I was like, I just can't give us
Taylor
this
Man
win.
says it's up to 20.5, and I think that's fair. And I'm not ripping South Carolina, but the beginning of the season, first game in the heat, it's going to be hotter than shit. They probably got that game scheduled for noon, right? Is that when it's scheduled? I don't even know what time. What time is that game scheduled for?
I can
Got it.
check.
I got it right here, I think. But um, what time is that game scheduled? I don't know, but it's like if it's a noon game and you have to play in the heat, dear God. Oh no, it's a 4:15 kick. So the hottest part of the day is when that game's going on. It's gonna be hotter than those. I mean, you better spend the extra money and get you one of those seat covers they have at the Billy Bryce there. 'Cause if you have to sit on those damn stands, this is gonna burn your asshole up. So anyway, I'm not saying they're gonna lose. I'm just saying the 20.5 is interesting.
The
Interesting.
line?
Yeah, it's what Baylor Man says it is. I don't know what that.
Oh,
what
that's
it
an
is.
easy. I would easily take. If I were betting that game, I'd easily take Old Dominion to cover.
Yeah, why wouldn't you? I'm just saying they don't know what the Gamecocks have yet. So we'll see how they do that because that Kentucky game is the hinge point. So
Old Dominion is definitely someone we cannot overlook. I think the way the game will play out will be sort of like the Georgia State game from 2 years ago,
mhm.
where it was really bad and ugly in the first half, and then we sort of, I wouldn't say pulled away blowout style, but like secured the game
Right.
in the second half type thing.
All right. Well, we'll see how that goes. Hey, thank you, Sporty, for joining the show today, man. We'll talk to you later on.
For sure. Thanks for having me.
All right. So let me answer a couple of questions here. Jason wants to know if I'm going to do 3 p.m. shows. Yes, during football season. We're going to try our best every day to do a show. Jack says, any chance ECU can eventually join the ACCU? Do you think that's not a possibility? ECU doesn't have the academics, is what the ACC will tell you. That's, and I know that sounds kind of harsh, but when you put their academic track record up against Duke or North Carolina, I don't think they're going to want to do that. And then if you do that, then you've got what? We got what? 1, 2, 3, 4. That gives you 5 ACC schools in the state of North Carolina. I don't think the ACC wants any of that. What does ECU bring to the conference? Not much. Not much at all. So there's that. All right, I've got to go. I've got to finish up some other stuff. But as always, I appreciate you guys, and we will talk to you later on.